Rather lads, welcome back to Cossy's Arsenal podcast. My name is Cossy. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in all parts of the world. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to a brand new video. This could be Arsenal's busiest summer ever. We are looking at up to a maximum of 6 incomings at the club and a maximum of around 10 outgoings as well. So in this video, we're going to do all the confirmed incomings and all the confirmed outgoings at the club. Mikel Arteta has requested players like Lokonga, Partey, Xhaka, Tierney to be sold this summer, and he thinks Rice, Kai Havertz, Romeo Lavia, and a couple of other players should be the potential replacement. So in this video, we are diving into all the done deals and some of the confirmed transfers for Arsenal in the 2023 summer. Hit the like button. Let's get this video to 1,000 likes. And also in the comment box below, who are your most precious targets for Arsenal in this summer? Kai Havertz and Rice are the most precious for Mikel Arteta, but who are your most precious targets for the club this summer? Right, so in terms of outgoings, Albert-Samuel Lokonga will be one of the first players to leave the club this summer. Mikel Arteta has confirmed that he doesn't have Albert-Samuel Lokonga in his plans anymore. This one, I don't really blame the manager. I think it has not actually worked out. We signed him two summers ago. He has given him chances, but Albert-Samuel Lokonga actually has not worked out as a signing. Now, we brought him as an understudy to Thomas Partey. It is very, very interesting that this summer Albert-Samuel Lokonga will leave the club, but also Thomas Partey will leave the club as well. I think he's one of those little prodigy, signings that you think are always gonna work out. At some point in time, he will work out, and if eventually it doesn't work out, it was such a bad sign. It was such a very, very poor transfer. Arsenal could get around maybe 25 to 30 million euros. A couple of clubs interested, including Burnley, with Vicente Kompany, who has worked with him at Anderlecht as manager. So Albert-Samuel Lokonga, once that's going to leave, I back Mikel Arteta on this one 100%. I think Lokonga needs to go, and we bring in a player like Moises Caicedo or Romeo Lavia. Now, next one on the list in terms of outgoings is Thomas Partey. This one is a very interesting one and a very shocking one as well. I think Partey is a loved player at Arsenal. I really love Thomas Partey. I really have him in my blood. And the fact that more concrete reports are coming out, that talks are ongoing between Arsenal and Thomas Partey regarding his exit. Clubs in Italy are very, very much interested. Inter Milan, AC Milan, Napoli, Lazio, and a couple of other clubs as well. It just breaks my heart. I look at our squad, I look at our starting 11, and it's one of the players that have the attributes you want in a player. Champions League experience, Europa League experience, Premier League experience, pedigree due to his being the fact that he's aged, he's 29. And he's so calm. He's one of those very, very calm players in the Arsenal squad. I've never had anything about Thomas Partey that I didn't like. But anyway, Thomas Partey will be leaving. Arteta has told Edu, if we can find a solution, it will be very, very good. He should be leaving this summer. I want your thoughts. I want your opinions on that one. Next on the list is Granit Xhaka. Granit Xhaka has agreed personal terms with Bayer Leverkusen. Arsenal are waiting to sign a replacement for Granit Xhaka, and this one will be over the line. It's around 13-15 million euros that Arsenal will be getting for the sale of Granit Xhaka. I think he's had a very good season, and that's why many pundits and Arsenal fans and ex-Arsenal players feel Xhaka needs to stay. And also, this season, we have benefited a lot from Granit Xhaka's discipline, and also the fact that he's been playing higher up the pitch, the goals, the assists, and the fact that he brings in a lot of physicality as well in the side. But if Arsenal want to replace him with Declan Rice, I think he's a more talented player than Declan Rice, to be honest. But Rice as well has so many attributes that he can bring to that midfield. I wouldn't really say that Xhaka should stay, but I wouldn't have a problem with Xhaka staying after that very, very good season. But for me, if it is time for Arsenal to get a better player in that position, why not? Granit Xhaka will be leaving Arsenal for Bayer Leverkusen the moment Arsenal sign a replacement. That is done and dusted. Kieran Tierney is one of the other players that will be leaving Arsenal this summer. Now, I look at Kieran Tierney. He might be going to Newcastle or probably and potentially Aston Villa, and I don't want him to go to any of those clubs. Newcastle is one of our big arch rivals this season, and probably for the seasons to come. Arsenal and Newcastle will be at a point where one qualifies for the UEFA Champions League and the other doesn't. So for me, I think Kieran is such a very good player. Now we understand Mikel Arteta's system is not one for him. He's never gonna play at left back again. I think he's tried to play him in as an inverted fullback, and that also has not worked out very, very well. But why I think Kieran should stay at Arsenal, and why I would like him to stay at Arsenal, is all the time you can't be playing Alexander Zinchenko in that inverted fullback position. There are teams that are very direct. There are teams that are very, very, cunning. I think if you play Manchester City, Alexander Zinchenko is not a player for that game. If you're playing Manchester United, Alexander Zinchenko is not a player for that game. And if you play teams like Newcastle as well, it would be much better if we played Kieran Tierney. I love Kieran Tierney. He's a proper fullback. He's a proper left back. He's a traditional fullback as well. And the amount of crosses he will be bringing into the penalty area is something I'll be missing from Kieran Tierney's departure. But I think Arsenal will need to raise some money. 30-45 million pounds is what we are anticipating, and with the likes of Romeo Lavia, Kai Havertz, Declan Rice potentially coming in, I think there is nothing to do about this one. Mikel Arteta has got to let him go. Right, on the next one is Florin Balogun. Again, another one that really hurts me to say that he will be leaving Arsenal, but it is absolutely true. Florin Balogun is going to be leaving Arsenal this summer. Another really talented player, another really very, very good striker. Arsenal do need goals. Arsenal do need a backup striker, and I've seen so many links with the likes of Oli Watkins, Ivan Toney, not really Brian Buemo, but a couple of strikers that you feel fit the profile of Florin Balogun. Now, the player doesn't want to be on the bench. He doesn't want to go out on another loan. He must be guaranteed game time if he's going to sign a new deal and stay at Arsenal. His contract runs down in 2025. Arsenal don't want to risk that potential of him living on a free or going into his last year of his contract and then putting too much pressure on the club. That's why they've decided to sell him. I still think there is a way out with Florin Balogun. He's had a very good season at Reims. Yes, we can command a very good fee for him, maybe 40, maybe 45 million. There's so many clubs at the top level interested, playing UEFA Champions League as well. AC Milan, Inter Milan, Napoli look at him as a potential Victor Osimhen replacement, and Crystal Palace as well. I've also looked at him, but if Arsenal can get some good money out of this one and put a buyback clause in his contract, I'll definitely not have a problem, but I don't want to sell him. He's one of the players I really like that have come out of the Arsenal Academy. Next one is a confirmed done deal. That is Ainsley Maitland-Niles. Arsenal have already said their goodbyes with Ainsley. He's left the club. He's gone out on a couple of loans. He's a confused player. He's a confused one. And I think many Arsenal fans will agree with me that Ainsley Maitland-Niles was one of the players that never really matured into the players we thought he would. He played at right back at some time. He played in midfield at some time. And we all thought he was this kind of very versatile player. One of those players that are really going to add a lot of quality to the side. He never matured into that player. He went out on Roma. It did work out very well. He's played for Southampton as well on loan. And for me, it's very, very fair to say Ainsley needs to go down to another club, maybe a club in the Championship, maybe a club like Luton Town, nail down one specific position and play in there very, very well. I don't see him as a UCL player. I don't see him as a Premier League winner. I don't even see him as a player who should be playing for a club in the top 10. He's left Arsenal on a free deal. That one is confirmed, done and dusted. Nicola Pepe will be leaving Arsenal. There is no question about this. Mikel Arteta has told Edu, you've got to find a solution for Nicola Pepe. Now, I'm hearing rumors as well that Arsenal are willing to go to the length of terminating his contract if need be. Arsenal will terminate Nicola Pepe's contract if the need arises. In my opinion, I don't think the need will arise for us to, terminate his contract. I think there's so many other, ventures out there that we can be looking at. Saudi Arabia is one of those. But I also think he's such a very, very interesting player that although he's had very, very, very bad season since 2019, he might get one club that are willing to pay around maybe 9, maybe 7 million euros. Of course, it's very, very bad business for us not signing him for 72 million in 2019 and now losing him on a free or potentially just 9 million euros. It's bad business, but there's nothing to do about this one. Nicola Pepe confirmed will be leaving Arsenal. Right, so in terms of incomings, the big man is Declan Rice. That is the signing of the summer for Arsenal. Arsenal have already had a bid rejected by West Ham. A 100 million bid has also been confirmed to have been prepared by Arsenal. And according to Fabrizio Romano and a couple of other big journalists, Arsenal will go back again for Declan Rice. Of course, Mikel Arteta has gone, I want a big signing to replace Granit Xhaka. Look, he loves Granit Xhaka. Mikel really loves Granit Xhaka. And I think he's gone for one of those players that he really, really loves. A player that he understands, trusts, and feels that connection with, and that is Declan Rice. I don't think it's a bad signing for 100 million. I've been listening to all pundits, and they've been saying, the English pundits believe 100 million is a steal for Declan Rice. The non-English pundits feel the 100 million is actually a joke for Declan Rice. In my opinion, he was never, and he is never 100 million pounds. But West Ham think, if you are going to sign him, you have to make him the most expensive English player ever in the history of the game. So that means Arsenal have to cough up to 101 million. It's not a bad signing. It would be a very, very good one. I think Arsenal need a statement signing. We've not had one since Mesut Ozil, in my opinion. So if Arsenal can get Declan Rice through the door, that would be a statement signing. That would be a signing, a player that every club around the world would want. Bayern, Madrid, Barcelona, Manchester City, Manchester United, Chelsea, Liverpool, all the clubs at the top level in the world would love to sign Declan Rice, and potentially he will be going to Arsenal. So this one is also on the verge of happening. By the time you watch this video, if you've not watched it today, he might be an Arsenal player. Moving on is Kai Havertz, who is also on the verge of joining Arsenal. This deal is very, very close, according to Florian Plettenberg from Germany, Sky Sports. He says Arsenal are on the verge of signing Kai Havertz. Arsenal really didn't want Kai Havertz, in my opinion, since the start of the summer. I don't know where and when we picked up interest in Kai Havertz, but what I understand is Mikel Arteta is behind pushing for this deal. Now, Kai Havertz is a player that has a lot of mixed reactions from Arsenal fans. There is a fan base that feel he's a good player, and I would actually sign him, detaching all the Chelsea links from him as a player. But there are also the other side of the fan base that feel Kai Havertz is such a bad player. Kai Havertz is such a bad signing, and you wouldn't really blame them. We've not seen the best of Kai Havertz for the last 2 years, actually 3 years at Chelsea. But one thing, he is a UCL winner, and if Arsenal need to win the UCL, probably Kai Havertz could be the guy. I want your thoughts. I want your opinions on Kai Havertz as a potential signing. Of course, I've had Mikel Arteta would like to use him as a potential striker, also an attacking midfielder as well. So we might see a change in formation from Mikel Arteta when he uses Kai Havertz, Martin Odegaard, and Declan Rice in midfield. Moving on is Romeo Lavia. Arsenal pulled out of the race to sign Moises Caicedo, and that's why Moises Caicedo is not on this list. So the confirmed target for Arsenal this season is Romeo Lavia. Now, Lavia is only 19, 45 million pounds could get the deal done. Of course, Southampton will be asking for in excess of 50 million. He's such a very talented player. He's come through the under 23 academy for Manchester City, signed for Southampton for 12 million pounds, and Southampton really, really rate him highly. Mikel Arteta has had him in his plans for quite a very long time. Chelsea tried to sign him as well, in the windows before this one. So it looks like he's a player that has been that is appreciated by so many clubs and so many top class scouts and managers. One thing I don't understand is if we're losing Thomas Partey with all the experience and we're signing a 19-year-old Romeo Lavia, that is something that I might not understand, but Mikel Arteta really loves the player, and we might sign him this summer. Moving on to the next incoming could be Moussa Diaby. Arsenal do want a forward this summer. Of course, last campaign we did talk about Bukayo Saka and the minutes he played in that season. He played so many games. There was a time where we felt Saka needed some kind of rotation, some kind of rest, but there was no one to come in and guarantee you that performance. Moussa Diaby is the player for that. Left-footed, very young, is playing for Bayer Leverkusen. His asking price could be around 50 million euros or even less than that this summer. Arsenal have scouted him for quite a very, very long period of time. We've tried to sign him in the last 2 transfer windows, and it has actually not worked out. But this season, he's been absolutely, very, very mind-blowing again. His performances have been very, very good for Bayer Leverkusen, and we believe Mikel Arteta will try to sign him in this summer. Now, the next player on the list is Joao Cancelo at right back. Mikel Arteta would like to sign a right back this season. We are looking at a couple of right backs, including the likes of Ivan Fresneda, Sacha Boy at Galatasaray, and Joao Cancelo at Manchester City. Now, what Cancelo would bring to Arsenal is obviously that experience, that pedigree, and the flair and the talent. He's absolutely gifted as a player. Manchester City want to sell him before July. They're asking for in excess of around 40-50 million for the player, but the problem is that Manchester City would prefer to sell the player outside the Premier League, and at least even if they've sold him to the Premier League, not to Arsenal. Of course, they did suffer that scare when Alexander Zinchenko and Gabriel Jesus worked out very, very well. So they feel if you're selling Cancelo, he must be going away from the Premier League. I think Arsenal would do well with Joao Cancelo. We don't have a proper right back, and I think Joao Cancelo as a good right back would propel the levels of Bukayo Saka deeper and deeper. And I still think you sign Joao Cancelo, you allow Saka to get inside the penalty area more, score more goals, and create more chances as well. But of course, you cannot forget the chances he creates as a player. Ben White, in my opinion, doesn't create as many chances as Joao Cancelo, and I think the system that we are playing this season literally fits Joao Cancelo 100% as a mobile fullback. So keep your eye on Joao Cancelo. He's a confirmed target for Arsenal this summer. The alternative to him, the alternative to Joao Cancelo is, of course, Timothy Castagne at Leicester City. Leicester will sell. They're asking for in excess of 15 million euros if they're going to let the player go. Juve is interested. 27 years of age. He's one that I don't trust in terms of being a good player or even being a good signing, but he's one that I trust that he will be a much better right back than Benjamin White. He's mobile, he's got the pace, he's got the speed. 27, he's got the Premier League experience from Leicester City, and he's also got that pedigree overall. So let's wait and see if Arsenal can get this one done. I would love him to come in as a backup to a proper right back, but if Arsenal want him to come in as a starter, then definitely that is what will happen. We are looking at also centre backs, and the first of the many is Mohamed Simakan at RB Leipzig. Leipzig are asking for in excess of 50 million. He's one of those players that are really affected by injuries, but his quality is absolutely through the roof. I like him. I really, really do. He's played at right back. He's played at centre back as well. And wherever he's played, he's been such a very good player. Arsenal potentially could be looking to pay around 35 to 40 million euros for the services of Mohamed Simakan. If Leipzig can agree a deal with Arsenal, I can see this deal happening as well. Edmond Tapsoba is another player Arsenal are looking at with doubts from all over the world that Gabriel Magalhaes will not be the real centre-back to win us the Champions League and the Premier League. Maybe Edmond Tapsoba could be. We've scouted Edmond Tapsoba since 2019 in the summer, and it looks like he's a player Mikel Arteta really, really loves. Now, the problem with Edmond Tapsoba is the pricing. Bayer Leverkusen will want around 60-70 million. I think he would be a good signing for Arsenal, but he might be a better signing for a club that really do not have a starting centre back. What we are looking for at the moment is squad depth. Edmond Tapsoba, in terms of squad depth, is not the player that I think Arsenal will definitely sign. Ilkay Gundogan, though, is another concrete target for Mikel Arteta. We are losing Granit Xhaka. We want to bring in someone who is a bit of a clutch player, and who better to sign for clutch than Ilkay Gundogan. One of those players that have been really playing at a very, very high level in the Premier League and in the world. He's won the Premier League, won the Champions League, won the FA Cup and the Carabao Cup at Manchester City. I think he's done it all at City. If Arsenal can get him, if Arsenal can get such a player, it would be such a very, very good move. And finally is Martin Zubimendi. As we lose Thomas Partey in this summer, it could be that we will go for such a very young player, a very young replacement. Martin Zubimendi at Real Sociedad is one of the players we're looking at. Now, he's got a release clause of around 55, between 55 to 59 million euros. We'll try to trigger that release clause in January, but the player decided to stay at Real Sociedad. Of course, anyone who's played at Real Sociedad last campaign would want to stay to see their club play in the UEFA Champions League. But he would be such a very good signing. Barca are looking at him as well. So if any of us can get him, that would be a very, very good deal. So those are the confirmed ins and outs for Arsenal this summer. Almost 10 ins, almost 10 outs. Let's see what will happen this summer. And of course, I'll be updating this video as we go on to sign and sell players in the transfer window. See you soon.